Hello and good morning. It is 1/13/2015. My name is JP, and this is the Syncfrog Expert Hour, our second of this year. So welcome. Congratulations, you made it. What have you. So today we're going to be talking about a couple different use cases as we usually do in the Expert Hour. And again, if we have anybody viewing, feel free to ask us some questions through the chat panel that should be accessible, and I will be more than happy to answer them. So, first thing, as we usually always do on this, is what is Syncfrog? What is Syncfrog, and what do we do, and how does it all work? So, our typical thing that we'll do here is, well, what is Syncfrog? Syncfrog is a easy, intuitive, easy to use data leaper from multiple sources to multiple targets. So we'll allow you to take information from SurveyMonkey, Twitter, Salesforce reports, Litmus, and put them into other CRMs like Infusionsoft, MS Dynamics, Oracle, and Salesforce. We'll be using Salesforce today as our CRM, but as anything goes with inside of Syncfrog, all of it's applicable for pretty much every source and every target. There's nothing that's really very specific to it only works for this particular way. This mapping could be set up for going to other CRMs, different object name maybe, or different way it might work, but the mapping and idea is all exactly the same. So that's what we do. We data leap from one application to another, and we can set this on a schedule or one-time run or anything along those lines. So how much does it cost to move stuff over? Well, lovely packages start at our basic, which all accounts are created for, at the price point of free. Everybody likes free. I like free. You probably like free. Adam across the way from me here probably likes free. Yep, he just gave me a thumbs up. So Adam likes free as well, and that is our test right there. If Adam likes it. So our basic account, you get one login per connector. What that will do is that means you could have one set of credentials for each of our apps that we support. You also get one data leap, and we'll talk about that in depth in a second. You can manually sync, which means you can sync it just by pressing the button, and you get community support. We also have chat support for everybody as well. So if you see the little chat dialog box, usually it's right over here. I'm signed out right now, but usually be on the little side here. I will answer, or somebody else will answer. So you can ask any questions you might have of how to set up your data leap inside of there. So, and again, the price point of free. Now, the next up, which most people are pushing towards, is our bronze package here. So that is our bronze, and that will give us 5 data leaps. And our daily scheduling, same support, and that's our lowest price point at $49. Now, there is some use cases that we do that we need 3 logins per connector. A prime example of needing 3 logins per connector would be something along the lines of our Salesforce report to Salesforce mappings. So that would allow you to map from a production Salesforce org to a sandbox org, or a partners org, or any other org to org. So you would actually need another set of credentials. Now you can do Salesforce to Salesforce reports inside the same org with 1 login per connector. But in order to move it across orgs, you would need 3 logins per connector. You'd also get the 10 data leaps, manual and monthly and daily scheduling, community and email support, and that's just at the price point of $99. Now we have our gold package, which is unlimited everything and also gives us our hourly scheduling. So you could actually set this up to any of your data leaps to sync hourly. That could be, your SurveyMonkey to Salesforce, Litmus to MS Dynamics. However you want to have it set up, you could actually have that ran across hourly. And again, that gives you community and priority email support. And again, the chat availability is there, and that's at our highest price point at $1.99. So obviously, using Syncfrog is not going to break the bank for you. Honestly, this is probably the best bang for your dollar, especially if you are a man, especially if you have multiple orgs that you have to watch over or anything along those lines. It gives you the best scheduling ability. This gives you the smallest, but also gives you a large amount of data leaps and logins. So, like I said, what is a data leap? So we actually have to define it because this confuses a lot of people. A data leap is the process of sending information to another. So sending the results of a SurveyMonkey survey to Infusionsoft would be one data leap. The basic paid versions allow more. You can send. So a data leap would be like it states here, SurveyMonkey to Infusionsoft. Now do another data leap, say Litmus to Salesforce or something along those lines. That would be a second data leap. There is no limit to the actual amount of data you can send. So in our use case here, SurveyMonkey to Infusionsoft, I can set up that data leap and run it again and again and again and again, which means it will resync the information that you said and new results and everything that you set up. So that sets up your data leap. That's one set of mappings. That's essentially the way I look at it is one set of mappings, and I can rerun that all the time and get new results right through the app. Hence the no limit to the actual amount of data you can send. So all of our accounts come with unlimited data transfer. Again, so you can rerun the data leap, and I've had people run 98,000 plus records using just a basic account. No, we don't have any premium apps, so you don't have to be on one specific package type as a free account, and then you can upgrade from there. And there's always promo codes that we're sending out to people to give discounts or percentages off and everything along those lines. And you can downgrade at any time. The system is automated. It's going to make you delete data leaps until you are under the amount you would wish to downgrade to. We don't offer phone support as a call-in. We may call out to you if you're stuck somewhere or really need some help or something along those lines. And do you need to code? No, you don't need to code really. We do have some advanced features that some people would think are coding, but it's actually not. It's actually just applying logic into the app. So I'm sure you guys are tired of hearing me ramble. So let's get into doing some cool stuff. So today's use case that we're going to be talking about is going to be doing Litmus to a custom object inside of Salesforce. So you can here you can see my Salesforce org, and Litmus has a great custom object that they actually manage package that you can install from them. It is on the App Exchange, but one of the things that I've seen people want to do is send information to like a custom object that they set up so they can run their dashboard and everything along those lines inside of Salesforce. So what I did was I actually just created a custom object called Litmus classes. As Litmus package sets up several objects, one of which is very close to this, but I decided to call mine Litmus classes. So I've set up this particular one to actually have some relationship fields for an account, a contact, and a got lead in there as well. So what I did is I set up 3 new fields for that. So again, it's fairly simple. click on New, select your field type that you'd like to do. So in this case, it was a lookup relationship. Tell it what object you are relating this new custom object to. So I can, again, relate it to any object that I have access to. And then you can set up your relationships. So I set those relationships up. So we have our lookups, and I also set up a couple of fields as well. So we have an achievement title, a class complete checkbox field, class name, date field, which we currently cannot use as the date that comes over from Litmus is a little weird, and course ID, a result or score, and a class type. So this is all the information that we'll be sending over. Awesome. All right. So how do we set up Litmus for our data leap? So I'm going to go ahead and exit this one here. So in order for us to create a data leap, we need to give Litmus, we need to give Syncfrog our information for Litmus so we can access it. So if we go inside of our top right here, and if we were running for our very first time, when we clicked on Create New Data Leap, and I selected Litmus, and we select Salesforce, if I was running for this for the first time, it's going to kick me out asking me, well, what credentials do you want to use for Litmus? So I'm just going to show you how I enter that information using the other way that we do it. So we can go to Manage Credentials up here at the top, and I can click on Create New Credentials, and I would say Litmus, and we'll click on Next here. Now it's going to ask for our username and API key, and we have got a lovely little Finding Your Litmus API key walkthrough from their help. So I will just briefly show you how this is done. So obviously you put your name in for your account, which is your email address, and then your API key. API key is located up here under My Profiles and Settings, and this is under the admin view. Scroll down to the bottom here, and it says API key. Boom, there it is. So that is my particular key, and that would grab our information. So once I put my API key inside of here, we can click on Apply, and that will add our Litmus credentials. And Litmus is going to ask us to validate that we're okay to using that and everything else along those lines. So that's how you can grab your key. Now we're going to create our new data leap. So we're going to say Litmus to our target, which is going to be Salesforce for this one. But again, I can do Litmus to Infusionsoft, Marketo, MS Dynamics. Obviously, I wouldn't pick Marketo. That would be a bad idea. Usually, people will do leads to Marketo and other information. So not usually LMS to a marketing automation tool. MS Dynamics, Oracle, Salesforce, or Sugar. So we're going to do Salesforce, like I said. We'll click on Next, tell what credentials we're using, and click on Next. And that's going to give us our first choice here, our data to collect. What data information that we want to grab from Litmus. Now I can grab all users, and then what that would do is grab our big long user list from our Litmus instance. All user achievements, what that would do is grab all of our users and their achievements, or are we just syncing the new user achievements, which means we'll set up this data leap only to grab stuff that has happened since the last time it did a data leap. Now we can use this to the all users to create contacts, leads, or accounts inside of our Salesforce, because I have that relationship set up, and I can map this to pretty much anything. I can even set them up as students or any other custom object. There really is not a limit to what information I can add. All user achievements or new user achievements. But today we're going to use the all user achievements and click on Next here. Tell what credentials we're using. So here's my developer account credentials for Salesforce. and our name. So we'll call it example 1/13/15 and create. We'll say, okay, take me to the mapping. Cool. So the first thing you're going to see is, well, blank screen. What do you want to do? And we know we're doing litmus to Salesforce. So the first thing I want to do is set up our mapping for any of our relationships. So I'm going to look for any leads that might be assigned inside of my LMS class. Now, obviously, probably going to be contacts, but who knows? This use case, they could possibly be learning before they're converted to a contact or something along those lines. They're doing prelim classes, but they haven't purchased your product, so they're not exactly a contact yet. So I'm going to click on lead, and we'll click on add new section here. So I'm not going to be creating a new lead. I'm actually going to be looking for existing leads, or I can even update existing or create a new record. So that's going to give us our first questions here, which is our where statements. Where's equals and multiple records. Where in Litmus, so this is going to be all the fields that we have accessible inside of Litmus. So we have their username, first name, full name, email, access level, disable messages, active Skype, Twitter, time zone, last login, their login key, any of the custom fields that they have set up inside of their app, achievement title, and we'll map all of these over to get our information. So what is the best thing to do that we have here besides the lead ID that we can use? Well, that's it right there, email. Email is usually the best unique identifier for finding somebody in your CRM next to an ID value of that lead. Now, if I was to set up somebody inside of Litmus and have this, maybe their student ID is their contact ID or lead ID, we could use that value. So again, it's just really easy to use email. So email to email. And if I find multiple email addresses, what do you want us to do? Use last modified is 90% of the time what people do. However, first created and last created are available. Most of the time, people are using the last modified as it's usually the most up-to-date record. And we'll just simply map it over. So we have company, and that's going to go to, what is it? Company name. And last name to last name, and we'll click on the map new field. First name to first name. And lastly, we'll just do email address, right? But okay, and email. Awesome. So our logic setup is to update existing or create the new record inside of Salesforce. And all of our information here. So that's a company to company, last, first, and email. Cool. So if I get an error, I actually don't want to stop processing this data leap because my next one will be our contact. So we're going to skip the section and continue if I get an error. So we're going to go on to contact. And again, we'll just do the same exact thing. Update existing. Well, actually, in this case, just be doing a find. And again, we're going to use that email address. Awesome. Email to email, and again, use last modified, and if there's an error, and we only want to do the contact if the lead wasn't completed. So what we can do is on our second mapping here, we can apply some logic. So we'll go to add new section here, and we'll say our previous section wasn't completed. And what that will do is if the lead wasn't unable to be created or updated using that email address, then we'll go on to our contact and we'll click on apply here. Awesome. So we do our lead mapping, our contact mapping. And now let's get that information over to that custom object I showed you guys. Here it is. Again, this is a quick one that I've created. So inside of our mapping here, we're going to select from our Salesforce types here. You can see all of our basic types are all in alphabetical order. And then we go to our advanced types, which would have, contact or, contract, documents, groups, all sorts of stuff like that. Users in there. And then we have our custom types. So this is our list of custom objects inside of Salesforce. One cool thing is if you don't see it, you can actually click on this refresh types button, and that will repull all of our information from Salesforce. So our list will be re-itemized for us. So we don't have litmus course, we have litmus classes is the name of the object I've created. And we'll click on add new section again. Cool. So we'll be creating a new record, and I want this new record to be tied to our lead or contact. So what we're going to do is in our drop down here on the left hand side, I'm going to say reference one lead, and that's going to go to our lead field. And what that will do is grab our ID value that is found here and send it over here. Again, we'll do the same thing for our contact. And there it is. Accounts in there as well. I'm just not going to take the time of mapping that. And again, we'll add a condition to this just to say if completed, use this one. So it only apply the lead ID if that section's completed. And again, we'll do the same thing for contact. We'll only apply the contact ID if the contact is completed. So that adds in our logic for this litmus class. Now we can do something cool called auto map fields. And what that will do is attempt to map the rest of it for us. Awesome. So we can do a little bit of tending here. So we have achievement title going to achievement title. However, last name is going to class name. So that's not going to work. Course ID is to course ID. That's going to work. Course name, okay. Course description, course ID does not. Result, score, and type are all fine. So I'm going to trash all of those. And we're going to click on map new field here. So course ID, result, what other ones do we have here? Let's see, achievement title is mapped, achievement description, course name, course description, compliant till, score, result. All right, so what do we have here? We have course ID, and we have type ID. Okay. So we'll have that go to course ID, going to ID. Oop. That's the student ID. All right. Have to forgive me. I've only done the litmus thing for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours tops. So let's see. All right. That should be enough for us to fill out our custom object, right? We have class name. Course name going to class name. There we go. All right, so that was the one I was missing. All right. Now, one thing we can do is with our transform ability, we can see that we have a create value transform. One thing I want to do is I want to check a box if the class was complete, right? So if that achievement is complete, but however, I only get achievement date as one of our mappings, right? So we have achievement title, achievement description, achievement date. All right. So what I can do is I can actually transform that from a date to a Boolean checkbox. So we have achievement date going to class complete. Now I'm going to click on this transform ability, and that's going to allow us to, when period, which is our holder for our date field. Currently, the way we're actually getting the date values from Litmus is in a, epoch time stamp field. So it looks quite different. Typically, what we can do for most date fields is just use a date transfer ability, and that would transfer it from any of these kind of standard types. So you have month / day / year, and you can convert that into the format that you need for your CRM. So, for example, Salesforce takes it in the year dash month dash day format. Today, since we're going to be doing a little bit of workaround for the date ability, I'm going to use the lookup ability. So again, we're just going to use a period, then equals, and this is true, 1, 0, or false. Any which one of these will true, we'll check the box. False, will uncheck a box. So I'm just going to use true. And you can apply logic to this as well. So you can say, skip field or use value, or, use source value, which would just try and pass over the period. And we're just going to skip the field. You can also do regular expressions if you would like. And what that would do is, if you want to extract data, if you get a phone number, then just pass over the area code to a specific field. So you can actually use regular expressions to break down values. Like I said, the no coding required, but there is some serious logic stuff that we do have the ability to do. So I'm going to click on apply on this, and what that will do is anytime we have any information in the date, that's going to check that class complete box inside of our CRM. Cool. So we can go ahead and click on apply. Click on OK. And here is our data lead right there. Example information right there. Now I can go ahead and click on activate. And since I'm using a paid for package, I can go ahead and create a schedule. So if I wanted this to run, obviously I have a gold one, so I can run it hourly. If I wanted to run it daily, I can set, what time zone, weekdays only, every day, any of that information that you would want. So I'm going to go ahead and click on cancel, and I'll click on run now. What that's going to do is, since we set up is all user data, all course data that we have, it's going to grab that information from our Litmus. I'm going to take a sip of coffee. All right, cool. So we ran over 3 records. So you can see that we have 3 records finished, and the status was finished, and we have 3 successes. I can look at the log details, and this will actually tell me exactly what it did. It updated the lead, and here's actually the lead ID inside of Salesforce. It created a Litmus class, updated the lead, created a Litmus class, updated the lead, and created a class as well. So it found all that information. Now, if I wanted to break this down some more, if I wanted to see it, I can actually click on that box. I can download it as a CSV. And since I do have my Google spreadsheet tied to my account, I can actually dump it straight into Google spreadsheet. This is great if you have a failure or something along those lines. That means it'll dump it into Google spreadsheet. You can manipulate the data as you need. Maybe the last name or something wasn't there, and then you can have us just re-upload it. So if I click on the view log details, and I'm going to do a little bit of cheating here, we'll see that it created a class. Well, I'm going to copy that ID value at the back end there and go into Salesforce and paste it at the back of there and hit enter. So here is our online class. So you can see that we have our lead tied to it. And again, it wasn't found as a contact. So we have our class name and our course ID, our achievement title, our result of complete, and my mapping didn't work for the transform. So I'll have to take a look at that later. And you can also see that this update has been there, and we have Litmus class's name. So one thing that you can do is obviously with page layouts and everything along those lines inside of our CRM here. If I scroll down, we'll click on the pencil here, and I can say, class complete, course ID, and class name, sure. And we'll click on OK and save, and that's going to save our layout for leads. Now, if we go back down here, you can see that class complete and all of our information. So you can see that this particular person is in 3 classes. You have a testing course, a test course 2, and a testing course 3. So that's all of our user data. Now, if I go in here and if I go into my courses and go back to our learner view here, you can see that I have a expert hour class. And if I go through here, I click on start. And obviously quite a difficult test for me to take. Click on next. Hey, I completed and passed that one. And I'll start the survey module. We'll say 4th as well. Test. Question. And okay, we completed. Now, if we want to update after our initial data pull here, for example, we want to change it so it just grabs the new user information. Well, we can click on, I believe it's Litmus Larry, and we can click on next here. Instead of all user achievements, we'll just click on new user achievements. Our mapping doesn't have to be touched at all. And we'll click on apply, and we can click on activate. What that will do is we can run it now. We can run it from data, and again, like I said, if we had it in that CSV format, we could upload our CSV. Or if we dumped it straight into Google Spreadsheet, it would actually only list the Google Spreadsheet that we had downloaded before. So if I click on cancel and I click on run now, that is going to grab our Litmus data again. All right. And again, that should be our last one here. So if I copy that, paste it in because I'm lazy. There is our class, and there's our complete. And we should have our last class. There it is, expert hour course. Now I can change the Litmus class's name. I didn't map that over, so if I wanted to rectify that for all of our new records coming across, we can just click on mapping here, go to Litmus classes, click on map new field, and we'll say, course name goes to Litmus class's name. And just click on apply. So that means all of our records are going to come across now with Litmus class's name. Instead of this A record, it will actually say the class name that you can see over here. So here's our expert hour course. If I click on it, you can see that it was completed. Once we get the completion date thing fixed, we'll be able to map over the completion date. And obviously I did something incorrect on that. You can see it's not tied to a contact either, just as this person as a lead. So that is one of the use cases that we've had people ask us, well, um, about doing is and the reason why this has come up is a lot of people have a learning object that they've already been using. I know we did in house, and that we were keeping inside of Salesforce. So Litmus, like I said, has a great package that you can install, and has all the classes, and you can access Litmus straight through it inside of your CRM if you install a package like I have. So that's really cool. However, sometimes you want to use a custom object. And another reason why you might want to use a custom object is you can use your native dashboards as well. So what I did earlier today was I set up a Litmus dashboard, and all this is going to do is do a pie chart for record count of who's completed the course. And I did this off of a text field and set up a report and everything like that. So this is built into the native report ability. So I can set up all of my dashboards for all of my learners. Maybe I had a contact or lead, and I want to see how people are getting along for a particular campaign. Maybe I'm pushing something for all of my people to get trained on my product, therefore they can get free stuff. I can see how well that campaign's running, right? Just natively inside of here. So my report, really simple to look at on that, is just a Litmus contact report, and this was just for contacts. There's a little pie chart and all of my results. So online course, all that good information. So that is a real quick use case. So apologize if I missed stuff. Like I said, I have yet to play with this much beyond today's use case, and I'm still trying to figure out some other cool things that I can do with it. So if I missed anything, I'm sorry. It was a little ragged around the edges. So now that we've done that one, we can talk about other use cases that we've done. Unless I have anything in particular that people are asking for in chat. So, and it's Lenny, not Larry, apparently, for Litmus's name. I do apologize. So, Lenny, not Larry. I should know that. That's terrible. Okay, so one of the questions that come up fairly frequently is, how do I just get my data into CRM? A lot of times what will come up is a Google spreadsheet. So does your form have to be in the format of a Google spreadsheet? No, you can actually take an Excel file, put it on Google Drive, and actually access it through Google Spreadsheets. So what we'll do real quick here is a Google spreadsheet to Salesforce mapping. And what this will do is, again, we'll use a 3-part mapping here. And we'll do account, a contact, and an opportunity create. So this is set up to create an account, contact, and a opportunity. And how do I want this to come across? Incremental or all rows? We're going to say all rows today. And we'll click on next here. And our credentials for Salesforce again. Example 1/13/15 x2. Click on create and click on take me to the mapping. So the first thing we wanted to do in this particular use case is create new accounts, right? So we'll click on account, add new section here. And we'll say update existing or create new record using the account name field going to the account name field. And again, we'll use that last modified and account name to account name. Really simple mapping for this one. Like I did state, email address is the best thing to do. Accounts are kind of wacky because using account name can kind of be a pain, right? Prime example, IBM, right? Everybody knows that IBM, however, it might be in Salesforce as International Business Machine. again, we can't really logic in that information. Next up, we want to create a contact associated to said account. So we'll click on Add New Section here. And again, I'll be just creating a new contact, and it needs our last name. So what can we do if I pick last name? All right, and we'll click on Auto Map Fields, make my life much easier. So we have email, first name, and contact last name. However, we have account name going to account ID reference, right? So that's how things are built inside of Salesforce. So just like we talked about in the litmus mapping, is we can use that reference one account, and that will grab our ID value from our first mapping panel and use it in our second mapping panel. This will tie the two records together. Awesome. So that will be creating our new contact. Next up, we wanted to create new opportunities. And we'll click on Add New Section here. Now, in order for us to create a new opportunity, we need a close date, right? So we have a close date in our spreadsheet here. We have an opportunity name, and we have our opportunity stage. So all of that information is inside of our drive here. And give me 1 second. I'll show you exactly the field that we're using. All right, cool. All right, so we have, like I said, our opportunity name, our opportunity stage, and our close date. So this is the exact field that sheet that we're using, our account contact and opportunity. So I'll do a new one for today called account name. We'll call it account name. No, that's too literal. Let's say Starship prospecting, and our close date of 12 slash, that is in the month, day, year format. Awesome. So we added that person in, right? So we have Jean-Luc Picard from Enterprise, Frenchie at Starship. There we go, Starship. And our prospecting and all that information. So cool. So we're going to create this new opportunity. And what else do we need on this opportunity? Okay, well, we want to tie this opportunity to a particular account too. So again, we're going to use that relationship field, and we'll click on account to account. Awesome. Have anything else that this opportunity we want to have? Maybe probability, lead source, anything else along those lines. Tracking number, stage, we've already got in. So maybe amount, right? And well, my amount's not in there. One thing we can use is a fixed value. And we'll say amount is 25,000. So this would set every opportunity that we have coming across from the spreadsheet as the value of $25,000 US. Cool. So like I stated before in our litmus thing, is we need to be able to transform our close date, right? Because our spreadsheet has our close date in this format of month, day, year. So let's transform that. We're going to use our transform ability here. We're going to do a date. So it's month, month, day, day, year, year, year inside of our spreadsheet. And that's going to get converted to year, 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 month, month, day, day. Now, if I wanted to, I can add in our time zone. So this can do our conversion for us as well. Obviously, not going to do that. And we'll click on apply here, and click on OK. We'll scroll down to our data leap here. It is up towards the top, is it not? There it is. And we'll click on activate and click on run now. Take a sip of our coffee, and that'll grab our spreadsheet data. Awesome. And here we have our records processed. Again, we can click on our view log details, and we'll take a look at our account here. So I'll copy this one, and we will paste it in here. You can see that Manco, actually, let's not pick that one. Let's pick the new one that I just added in. Cool. All right, so here's Enterprise, and that's our new account name. So we have account name of Enterprise. Our John Luke card here, his emails. There's our contact. And here is our opportunity with our amount and close date. So you can see that our close date was converted to exactly what we needed inside of our CRM. So that's how you can quickly add accounts, contacts, and opportunities using a Google Sheet to Salesforce. Now, if we have any questions, please feel free to email us at hello@syncfrog.com. And thank you for watching, and have a great day.